Yep, yep. Yep, yep. Y'all already know. We already know who it is, y'all. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. And I know you haven't seen this in a while. You haven't seen this in a few games. But it's a little smirk, a little smile, you know, that feel-good face. Look at my face. This is a feel-good face right here, you know what I mean? Man, we got the win. It was improbable. The world was telling us it was impossible. But, you know, we got it done, man. We got it done. Against all odds, man. You know what I mean? Against all odds. The way tonight looked, it looked like the Wizards have been reading the press clippings and they are tired of the talk. That's how we look. That's how Bradley Beal looked. Yo, man, I don't really want to give the show. I don't want to just give the show all away early like that, man. But a lot of big things happened tonight, and we're gonna talk about it. A lot of revelations happened tonight that need to move forward in order for us to have success. Because we beat an elite team today, and they on their home court with effort. We look like early this season Wizards. We look like we're back. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get too hyped. They've done this to us before, so we just got to see how it goes. But we're gonna bask in the glory tonight, though. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game, man. So, without further ado, before we talk about all the good things that happened tonight, we must talk about some of the negatives. You know what I'm saying? Because there, of course, every game there's gonna be things that I don't like, and there's gonna be things that I did like, no matter if we win or lose. You know what I'm saying? So there were things that I didn't like, and we're just gonna get right into that. All right. So first and foremost, man, Donovan Mitchell was a problem tonight. He was a problem. He was a problem tonight. He's their best player, and he went off tonight, man. He started the game 3 quick threes. You know what I'm saying? Within the first minute, 3 quick threes, you know what I'm saying? No, 2 quick threes. My fault. He had 2 quick threes early, went up 6-0. And then Bogdanovic hit another 3, and they went up 9-0. 3 straight three-pointers. It looked like it was about to be another. If you watched it, it looked like the beginning of another long night. That's what it looked like. I'm not even going to lie, man. I'm not even going to lie, especially because we just played this team last week in D.C. and then they spanked us. So for them to start off 9-0, it's just like, oh, man, is this how we're going to end this part of the road trip before we come back to the East Coast? Man, I hope not. So, fortunately, that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? That was early. That happened early. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we're going to get to that. The Jazz, man, they even went up double digits on us in the first quarter. Again, these are the type of things that made me think, I don't even know I'm wasting my time watching this game. You know what I'm saying? That's what it made me feel like. You know what I'm saying? But they did go up double digits. Our three-point defense in the first quarter and throughout stretches of the game was, a little suspect. Now, it wasn't as bad. Let me rephrase that. It didn't feel as bad as earlier games, the last few games, where it felt like Scott Brooks type defense was being played on the three-point line. You know what I mean? They made big three-pointers, but I can't explain it, but it didn't feel, although they were like, they made a good amount of three-pointers, especially to start the game. So, I'll say at the beginning of the game, it felt like Scott Brooks type defense. But towards the game, as the game kept going on, although they were hitting threes, I still felt the energy. I felt the effort. I felt throughout the game, especially as the game went on, I just felt the Wizards played like they were tired of hearing the talk. That's how it felt to me, you know what I mean? So, but the three-point defense was lacking a little bit tonight. Like I said, Bogdanovic, he got hot. We know how he got down, how he can get down. He used to play for the Wizards for a little bit, and he was hitting threes then. He was doing that tonight too, hitting big threes, especially early in the game. You know what I mean? Especially early in the game. He was hitting some big threes, so I definitely didn't like that. Also, off the bench, Jordan Clarkson, he was a big key for them off the bench. You know what I mean? Brought immediate spark, immediate point scored. You know what I mean? Being an impact. And again, all of this happened in the first half, parts of the third quarter, I believe, as well. You know what I'm saying? But he was a problem too, man. One thing, and it's going to go into something that I like, but when Bertans got in the game, third quarter, I think it was third quarter, there was a stretch in the second half, I remember that he got in the game. We were having momentum. We was playing defense. We was doing what we needed to do. He got in the game, and I don't want to just blame this solely on him, you know what I'm saying? But he got in the game, and our defense just got weak. It just started lacking again. But to Coach's credit, which I'm going to mention later, he didn't stick with it too long, you know what I mean? He saw what was going on. He made adjustments as needed, you know what I mean? So I'll give Coach props for that. But yeah, Bertans, man, I mean, we know he's not a defender, you know what I mean? I don't know. I know we pay him a lot of money. I know we do. But anyway. Another thing I didn't like, man, Dinwiddie, man. Dinwiddie was not hitting shots tonight, man. He didn't score any points. 0 points tonight, man. Another offer out here. At least he was trying to get some shots up. I think he got like 7 shots up. He was trying to be a little more aggressive, but he wasn't hitting shots. You know what I mean? And he still lacked energy at times. There were times throughout the game, and the Twitter world was seeing the same thing, that he was looking a little, been looking, and not just this game, but looking a little disinterested, a little, lackadaisical out there, like no sense of urgency when he plays. You know what I'm saying? And it showed tonight. But again, we're going to talk about this and the things that I like, man. But Coach made adjustments when necessary. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely noticed that. Another thing I didn't like, man, was first quarter, man. The bench got in. Denny got in. Made immediate impact. Played defense. I think he scored. He was making an impact. They call a time. Wizards call a timeout is called. The team gets back on the floor, and Denny is nowhere to be found. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Man. Denny didn't. He was playing well, and you're gonna bench him. You know what I mean? And put Kuzma, and I like Kuzma. Kuzma's been giving us minutes, but one thing, I was watching it from the Jazz POV tonight, and one of the things that they were saying was that they were just saying, if Kuzma's in the game, he's not a good defender, and if he's in the game, you got to take it to him. And it was like on cue. As soon as the Jazz commentator said that, I think dudes was taking them off the dribble, taking them to the hole. He was just getting scored on. You know what I'm saying? He was just getting scored on, man. You know what I mean? Defense wins chips, man. Defense wins championships. I'm not saying we're a championship team or anything like that, but you don't take Denny out when he didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And that's something that we as Wizards fans been noticing a little bit with Wes, Coach Unseld. You know what I mean? That, you shouldn't take him out, man. Denny needs to be in more, not less. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. And the last thing I didn't like, but at the same time I did like it, and I'm going to explain when I talk about the things that I like, man. But Gobert, man, every time it felt like Gafford had something to prove tonight. And I think at times his ego got in his way, yo. To be honest, I thought at times Gafford's ego got in the way. Say what you want about Rudy Gobert. He's a defensive player of the year. A defensive player of the year. He didn't get that for no reason. You know what I mean? Gafford's smaller than him, but I think, I remember last Saturday, and Gobert dominated. Gafford specifically Gafford didn't score any points. You know what I'm saying? So I think he came out like that's not going to happen to me again. And he had because I'm just thinking about it because I saw last week's game, and when I remember, it's like Gafford was getting their centers dominated our front court, and that was one of the big reasons we lost last week. You know what I mean? So I think Gafford specifically took it upon himself to be like, that's not going to happen, and I'm going to try to dunk on him. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, more than half of the time that Gafford went up on him, he got his shit thrown. You know what I mean? Like, he just blocked him. Back-to-back blocks. Like, you ain't doing nothing in here. Now, Gafford got some points. Gafford did score on him. You know what I mean? And then eventually Bradley Beal had the monster jam on Gobert. You know what I mean? Monster jam. You know what I'm saying? But it was still funny. But I didn't like the fact that Gobert was throwing Gafford's everything he threw up there. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. But I did like Gafford's energy and his determination, man. I enjoyed it. I loved it, and I felt that it brought something to the team, and the team felt that energy. And like just watching tonight's game, they looked like early season Wizards again. You know what I mean? The energy, the teamwork, the passing of the ball. And I'm not going to say just because Gafford was trying to dunk on Gobert and keep getting his stuff thrown, that's why the Wizards have that energy. But I have to believe that one of Gafford's motivations was what happened last week, man. I have to believe in that, and I think about it, man. But I definitely didn't like his stuff getting thrown like that, man. But anyway, that's everything I didn't like, man. That's everything I didn't like tonight. And a lot of what I mentioned happened early first half, maybe early second half, but definitely first half, maybe early second half game. You know what I'm saying? But towards the fourth, in mid-third to the fourth, even though they played well, the Jazz played well at parts, but it was ours. It was ours, especially in the fourth quarter, man. Especially in the fourth quarter. So let's just start with what I like, man. So first and foremost, KCP, man, like I said, they went on a 9-0 run early to start the game. The Jazz did, and they were continuing to score. But KCP was keeping us in the game with some big shots, big three-point shots. He scored the first 7 points for the Wizards tonight, man. So without that, you know what I mean, that was keeping us in the game while we were getting it together. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like KCP being focused, playing well, hitting shots, big shots when we definitely needed that. Bradley Beal tonight, man, had a big game. Big 37 points, man. 20 points in the first half, man. 20 points in the first half. So he almost gave us 20-20. He was 3 short in the second half, but he did so many other things in the second half to help us win that, you know what I mean, he looked like Bradley Beal, the Bradley Beal that we need. The Bradley Beal that the front office was confident enough to think they could build a team around him and really think they could win a championship. You know what I mean? You already know my feelings, and if you don't, I don't think that Bradley Beal is a LeBron. I don't think he's a Giannis, but I do think he's a very great player, and I don't want to get him traded. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to trade Bradley Beal. I'm on the record saying that. I don't want to trade him. But tonight, he looked every bit, like if he could play like that game in, game out, then maybe I could up him to that level. But he hasn't proven that season over season over season. He had one great season where he almost won a scoring title, but he has to string back to back, 28, 29 a game, 29 points per game average seasons, back to back for like 3, 4, 5 seasons in a row. And we're playoff contenders, a contender in the East, for me to be like, yo, he's on that level. But until then, he's a great player. He showed potential. And tonight was definitely a game where he showed the potential that he has. You know what I mean? He played outstanding tonight. He's been playing outstanding the last 3 games, minus the 5 turnovers the last game. But he still was 30-plus. Know what I mean? He still kept us. No, he didn't keep us in the game last game. But he still played well. You know what I mean? So he definitely played well. Our bench, man. Our bench made a big impact tonight, man. Especially getting in the first quarter when we were down. They got back in, and they came back in with defense and intensity. Denny led the way with the defense, man. They cut the lead from double digits back to single digits. And then the timeout was called, and then they put the players back in, and Denny wasn't on the floor with them. You know what I mean? That was unacceptable. You know what I mean? That was unacceptable, coach. You know what I'm saying? But I already mentioned that. But our bench definitely held us down when we needed it, man. So I definitely like that. Neto scored 6 points early. Our team as a whole, but our bench was forcing turnovers. And again, Denny, man, he just played with so much more, like all season, every game that I've seen him, it seems like you feel his confidence getting better and better. He's feeling more and more like I'm supposed to be here. And that's definitely how it felt tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? He even, I might say, he showed a little arrogance tonight, a little attitude. You know what I mean? Like a little, like, not only am I supposed to be here, but I can guard anybody. There was a sequence in the game where Jordan Clarkson trying to get cute, you know what I mean? Trying to do these dance moves with him, trying to hit him with the cross, trying to do all this, like looking like Rucker Park, Harlem Globetrotter type. And then he just stood right in front of him, didn't shake him. He wasn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't deterred. He wasn't impressed. You know what I mean? He was just playing solid defense. Like, it stood out, man. Denny stood out tonight with the defense, man. So I definitely like that. Again, our team forced turnovers tonight. We forced a lot of turnovers, which helped us get that win tonight, man. Forced big turnovers, man. And then, second quarter, we had a sequence where our offense started to click again. Started to look the way that we were looking. We started to take control of the game. After being down double digits, we came back and we had a 15-3 run in the second quarter. We just looked confident out there. We looked like we were just tired of the talk. You know what I'm saying? That's how they looked out there with Beal leading the way. You know what I'm saying? They just like, we're better than this, and they played like that tonight. They played like the Wizards that we've been seeing earlier this season, man. So I'm definitely was happy about that. We played so well that we even led by 3 going into halftime. You know what I'm saying? We were down 10. I think, let me think. I think we were down 10. No, we weren't down 10 by the end of the first quarter because our bench came in and brought us back. But I don't even remember. But I think that's what happened. But we eventually, by the end of halftime, by the time we got to halftime, we were up 3. And that was a big reason for that was because of the bench play. Keeping us close, playing focused, Montrez getting in there, providing that energy, looking like the Montrez that we saw. Montrez even hit a 3 tonight. Even hit a 3 tonight. You know what I'm saying? He hit more threes than Dinwiddie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hit a 3 tonight, man. So from a crisp pass from Bradley Beal, might I add? You know what I mean? So I definitely like what I saw from the bench tonight, man. They brought something. And although Kuzma, lacked on defense at times, I still felt that he brought something to the table, played a decent game all around. You know what I mean? He scored points. And, even when Denny got benched in the first quarter when he shouldn't have and Kuzma got in instead, Kuzma did score points. He did score, you know what I mean? So I'll give him that, but he was getting scored on too. His defense is nowhere near as good as Denny's. I've seen it. I'm surprised I'm saying this because earlier in the season I wouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say Denny's defense wasn't good, but I thought Kuzma was kind of a defender. But recently I've been seeing him get exposed on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Denny, he's a solid defender. He's a better defender than Kyle Kuzma, man. So, yeah. But he still played all right to me. He still played all right. And again, Gafford, man. Gafford was just relentless. He was relentless out there. That's the word I'm going to use for his play tonight. Relentless. He didn't care if you threw his shot 3 times in a row. Like back to back to back. Not 3 possessions in a row. I'm talking about threw it. He get the ball back, trying to go up, do it again, try to go back, and throw it a 3rd time. He ain't care. He tried to keep going. He tried to get another one. and eventually got some dunks, got some good plays. But I just feel like his energy brought a lot to the team. You know what I mean? The team saw what was going on, and they fed off of it, and it helped us close the game. So I want to give big props to Gafford. Harold, again, I already mentioned him. Third quarter. The third quarter, again, is where we started to take control of the game. And when I started to be like, yo, I think we're going to win this game. You know what I'm saying? The third quarter was when we started to look the way we needed to look. You know what I mean? So I definitely like, you know, how we played overall in the third quarter, and I like how Harold played in the third quarter specifically, man. Fourth quarter, we had a big 9-1 run in the fourth. You know what I mean? And that also helped us close the game. We started playing with confidence. We started, you know, passing the ball, moving the ball, playing defense, and the right lineup was out there tonight, man. I want to give a big shout out to Coach Unseld tonight because he did what a lot of us were calling for. Play the players that need to play. You know what I mean? That's playing great. You need to keep them in the game. And although I was upset with him taking Denny out the game in the first quarter, in the fourth, in crunch time, Denny was in there, and I believe Denny was part of the reason why we won the game, man. I felt like Denny was the MVP. Well, it's hard to say when Bradley Beal has 37 points, man. It's hard to say Denny was the MVP tonight, but man, just watching Denny's effort, watching him tonight, if he wasn't the MVP, he was second place. You know what I'm saying? He was very important, man. So what I also like, man, was Coach, man, tonight, man. Fourth quarter, especially. But it started in the third quarter when Bertans got in the game. The defense started to slip. Coach called a timeout. And Bertans was not in the game. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in the game. Bertans only played 8 minutes tonight, man. 8 minutes. You know? That's what we're looking for, Coach. Like, if Bertans can give us something, then you keep him in the game. But the moment that he's slipping, he's not playing our defense is getting weak, he's not hitting shots, get him up out of there, man. Get him up out of there. And that's what he did tonight. He got him up out of there. Also, I like the so the question of the night, what a lot of people were saying on Twitter tonight was Denny needs to start. Denny needs to start. So I'm asking myself, do I think Denny needs to start? Do I think he should start? And initially, I'm like, yeah, I do. You know what I mean? The best player should start. But after further deliberation, I don't mind him starting. So let's just get that out of the way. If Coach says, yo, Denny, you going to start, I'll be cool with that. But I'm not mad if he doesn't start. And the reason why is a couple of reasons. One is because of Denny. I like how our bench comes in the game. And if our starters start slow, the bench comes in and they start to rectify the situation and get us back into the game. I like that we have a spark because there's going to be games where the starters actually start well. And if the bench could come in and just continue that would be even better for us. You know what I mean? But if the starters aren't playing well, we know we have a solid bench to come in and help rectify the situation. So I definitely like that, knowing that we have good reinforcement if we do decide to start slow. Because although it's been happening recently from game to game, we've been starting slow, it doesn't mean that's how it's going to be moving forward. You know what I mean? So I just like that our team, we still have depth. You know what I mean? We're going through a rough patch in the season. People are saying this is what it is. This is what it's going to be the whole season. I don't believe that. I still believe we're a playoff team. Now, about the 50 wins, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I do like the idea of keeping the starters the way they are, but pulling players out if they're not producing immediately. You know what I'm saying? You could call a timeout 2 minutes in the game and bench some of the starters. You know what I mean? You could do that. You know what I'm saying? But I do like our bench coming in because they do that game in, game out. They come in and they give us some life, some energy, a lot of games this season. So I definitely like that. And then number 2, and what I like tonight with what Coach Unseld did, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And as long as Denny's on the floor when the game is needed to be closed out in the fourth quarter, I care more about Denny being in the game in the fourth quarter, closing it out, than starting the game. You know what I mean? Because that has been the problem in recent games, that Denny wasn't in the fourth when we needed defense. Denny was in tonight in the fourth when we needed defense. As a matter of fact, Neto at the point, Beal at the 2, KCP at the 3, Denny at the 4, Gafford at the 5. That's what closed the game out. That's our closing lineup. That's who the closing lineup needs to be. If they start, that could be a starting lineup too. You know what I'm saying? No player on the Wizards besides Bradley Beal is good enough to say, yo, he's just a lockout starter. I've been saying that. You know what I mean? Only Bradley Beal has that. He's the only one with those credentials to say, yo, I'm the starter every night. I'm locked in. Pin me in. Not pencil me in. Pin me in starting at the 2 guard. But from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, anybody could start. The best players get to start. So if this lineup that closed the game out tonight, coach goes back, looks at the film and says, yo, I think this is who needs to start, and he makes that decision, I'll be cool with that. But if he keeps the starting lineup as is, I'll be cool with that too, as long as he doesn't hesitate on pulling starters that aren't producing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the game, this closing 5, not the starting 5, but the closing 5, again, Neto, Beal, KCP, Denny, Gafford, that needs to be the closing 5. You know what I mean? As long as they're closing the game out, I'm extremely happy. They did a great job tonight of closing the game, disrupting. KCP is great at playing the passing lane, stealing the ball. You know what I mean? Doing things that we need done on the defensive end, and he hits clutch threes. Sometimes he is not a factor on offense, and then there's other games where he can't miss. You know what I mean? We need more of those games from him. You know what I mean? Neto, he has high energy, something that Dinwiddie has been lacking very much this season. He's just been lacking high energy. You know what I'm saying? Neto, he provides energy. But to keep it real though, from a physical perspective, Dinwiddie is a better a better player. If they both could play to their peak, let me say it like this: if they both could play at their peak, Dinwiddie is a better player than Neto. He's bigger. He can rebound the ball. He still had, although he didn't score tonight, he still has 7 rebounds. Did he make sure? Let me make sure before I misspeak. You know what I'm saying? But I think I saw that. Yeah, he has 7 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? He had 4 assists. You know what I'm saying? So he's a better defender. He plays better defense. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need out there. That's what we need. You know what I mean? We need a defender. We need a bigger guard. You know what I'm saying? But Neto brings that energy that I like off the bench. He brings that energy, and again, he helped close the game out. He's a good closer. Makes the right play, got a nice floater, hit the threes, you know what I mean? Hit good shots. But he's not a point guard that, again, you have an elite point guard. I'm not saying Dinwiddie's an elite point guard, but if you have a bigger point guard, Neto was not a defensive threat. You know what I mean? So I still like him as a backup. You know what I mean? I still like Neto as a backup. I just think Dinwiddie, he needs to get his game together. And maybe do start Neto to light a fire under Dinwiddie, something. You know what I mean? But in order for us to make any noise in the playoffs, we're going to need Dinwiddie to play better. And we need Dinwiddie really to be the starter. He's better than Neto if they play into their peak. Right now, Neto is just playing with more consistency than Dinwiddie. But again, put them both, you know what I mean? Put them both side by side playing at their peak game. Come on, Dinwiddie's a better player. You know what I'm saying? He just hasn't been a better player this season so far. You know what I'm saying? So again, I like the closing 5. I like the bench coming in. and holding us down, whether we need a spark or we need to continue a good start from the starters. So if Denny comes off the bench, I won't be mad, but he needs more minutes. He needs to be in more. I like the fact he played more minutes than Kuzma tonight. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be really consistent. You know what I mean? It's not really, again, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And we finished strong tonight. You know what I mean? And again, we had Denny on the floor in crunch time. Something that hasn't been happening recently, and I feel has contributed to some of the losses. Because Denny has been showing these flashes, been showing this defense. He's been doing this for a while. It's not just like the last couple of games. Throughout the season, we've been seeing Denny getting better and better and better. And right now, I'm very confident of him being a starter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just confident in him playing and needing more minutes. No matter if he's starting or not, he just needs to play more. So that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, great night tonight. Very happy. I'm hoping that it's the start of a beautiful thing. A start of us getting back to how we were looking at the beginning of the season. Tonight was the closest, not even the closest. It looked like how we were looking early in the season, playing minutes, you know what I mean? Playing together, playing with pace, passing, shooting well, playing hard-nosed defense. Coach had to have saw something tonight. There had to be that revelation because Coach started benching players, shortening the rotation. I mean, a lot of people played tonight, but some of the players that have been playing, their minutes were cut shorter. Players that needed to be on the floor played more minutes than players that didn't need to be on the floor. These are the type of adjustments that coaches can make to help the team win. And I believe Coach Unseld did a great job, especially in the second half tonight, and he needs to keep it up. Have your finger on the pulse of the game. That's what needs to happen, and I believe that's what happened tonight, man. So I'm happy. Great game, great win. Looking forward to them coming back to the East Coast. I think we play New York next, or Brooklyn, one of them, and then Brooklyn or New York the next game. We play 2 New York teams back to back before coming back to the city. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, man, that's all I got. Great game. You know what I mean? If y'all like what y'all heard, you like what you saw tonight, I really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, The Wizards Review, on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the Xbox Series X and S on NBA 2K22. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, feeling good tonight, man. It was an improbable win. I ain't gonna lie, man. I never would bet against my team, though. But I didn't like our chances, man. But we got the win. And it showed that we have the potential if the right things are done. We play the right way, and the coach makes the proper adjustments. That's what has been going wrong lately. Not playing the right way, and coach not making adjustments fast enough. But tonight, everything started to click. They played like they had a chip on their shoulder, that they've been hearing the talk, and they're tired of it. Not to mention that we came in the game at 500, 15-15. So Bradley Beal played like we're not going under 500. We're not doing that. That's how he played tonight, and that's how we need him to play every night. Not to say he needs to score 37, 38, 39, 40 points a night, but he do need to score 28, 29, 30 a night with the 7 assists, 5 rebounds like he had tonight. That's the stat line we need from him game in and game out. He looked like the best player on the team tonight. He looked like the go-to guy tonight. He looked like the max player that he wants to be, even though he's going to get his money regardless. No matter what y'all say, Bradley Beal's going to get his money. You know what I'm saying? But he looked like he deserves that money tonight. So let's just hope that he can carry this on, keep it moving, keep it going forward. All right? So anyway, man, I'm going to see y'all next time, man. Let's enjoy the win. You know what I mean? Let's not worry about all the negative. It's what have you done for me lately, man? What they done for us is a win. So let's just enjoy it, man. Let's enjoy it until the next game. All right? So have a good night. Hope to see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.